If you're an Airbnb host, you already know the feeling. You open your calendar and it's just empty. Maybe it's January and the holiday rush is over. Maybe it's that weird stretch between spring break and summer. Whatever your slow season looks like, watching your calendar sit there with nothing on it while your mortgage, your utilities, and your cleaning crew still need to get paid is one of the most stressful parts of this business. And here's the thing that most hosts get wrong about slow months. It's not that demand disappears completely. There are still people traveling. The problem is that most hosts don't have the right systems in place to capture the demand that's still out there. From what I've seen working with operators across dozens of markets, hosts who don't adapt their strategy for slow season frequently leave thousands of dollars of potential revenue sitting on the table. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through 7 strategies to keep your calendar full during your slowest months. The first 4 are foundational, things every host should have dialed in. But the last 3 are where it gets really interesting. And one of them can literally generate extra bookings for you on autopilot. And real quick, if you watch the entire video and you're already doing everything on this list, I want you to comment the word booked down below. I'll personally hook you up with one property free for life on Bestie AI. No strings attached. But you've got to watch through to the end so you can honestly say you're doing all 7. All right, let's get into it. Strategy number 1 is to adjust your pricing for reality, not hope. This is the number 1 mistake I see hosts make during slow months. They keep their nightly rate at the same level it was during peak season, hoping that someone will come along and book at that price. And they wait, and they wait, and eventually the dates pass, and that night earns exactly $0. Here's the truth. An empty night at a high rate earns nothing. A book night at a lower rate earns something. And it actually does more than just earn revenue for that one night because Airbnb's algorithm tends to favor listings that are getting booked. So a few bookings at a competitive rate can actually trigger more visibility in search, which leads to even more bookings. But there's a big difference between intelligent pricing adjustments and panic discounting. I'm not telling you to slash your rate in half the night before. That's reactive and it leaves money on the table. What I'm talking about is proactive seasonal pricing, adjusting your rates weeks or even months in advance based on what's actually happening in your market. Once your pricing is dialed in for slow season, the next thing you need to do right is to make sure the right people are actually seeing your listing. Strategy number 2 is to optimize your listing for slow season guests. This is something that most hosts never even think about, but the people booking during your slow months are fundamentally different from the people booking during peak season. If your peak season is summertime, the guests booking your place are coming for beaches, barbecues, and time outdoors. The guests who book in winter are not coming for the same reasons. They may be remote workers, maybe midterm bookers, or people looking for a cozy weekend indoors. Your listing needs to speak to them, not to the summer vacationer who isn't coming. So here's what to do. Start with your listing title. Update it to emphasize the amenities that slow season travelers actually care about. Things like reliable high-speed Wi-Fi with a dedicated workspace, proximity to off-season attractions, and your best off-season amenities. Next, update your first 5 photos to match the season. If it's the middle of winter and your hero image is a bright sunny pool shot from July, that's actually working against you. Show the property looking warm and inviting in the current season. Staged photos with warm lighting, a fire going in the fireplace, a cup of coffee on the counter. Make the guest feel what it would be like to stay there right now. Then go through your amenities and make sure you've added or updated the ones that matter for slow season travelers. List your actual Wi-Fi speed in megabits per second. Make sure you've got a proper desk and an office chair, not just a kitchen table. Highlight your streaming services, your board games, your fully stocked kitchen for longer stays, those things that your off-season guests actually care about. And update your description to paint a picture of a slow season stay. Help the guests envision themselves there during this season, not some other time of the year. Most hosts set up their listing once for peak season and then never touch it again. The hosts who stay booked year-round treat their listing like a living document that evolves with the calendar. All right, so your pricing is competitive and your listing is actually speaking to the people who book in slow months. Now let's talk about how to reach travelers who aren't even on Airbnb. Strategy number 3 is to expand to more booking platforms. If your listing is only on Airbnb, you're fishing in one pond. And during slow months, that pond gets smaller. Expanding to Vrbo, Booking.com, or even niche platforms like Furnished Finder puts your listing in front of entirely new audiences, people who may never even search Airbnb at all. Here's a simple rule of thumb. If your property is 2 bedrooms or fewer, Booking.com tends to perform really well because it's strong with international travelers, business travelers, and shorter stays. If you've got 3 bedrooms or more, lean towards Vrbo because it's stronger with families and domestic group travel. Now, the first 3 strategies are foundational. Every host should have those dialed in. But the next 4 are where things get really interesting. These are the strategies that actually fill calendars, not just improve them slightly. And by the way, a couple of the strategies I'm about to show you are things that used to take hours of manual work to pull off, but there are now AI tools that can handle them automatically. I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a second. Strategy number 4 is to lower your minimum nightly stay. This one is simple, but it's incredibly effective. During peak season, a 3 or 4 night minimum makes total sense. But during slow months, that minimum is silently turning away bookings. A traveler who needs 2 nights for a quick weekend getaway isn't going to book 3 nights just to stay at your place. They're going to find someone else who'll take their 2-night booking. So drop your minimum to 1 or 2 nights during slow periods. Yes, this means more turnovers, but a property that's being turned over and earning revenue is infinitely better than a clean property sitting empty night after night. Okay, next up, this one is a strategy that most hosts completely overlook, and it's one of the easiest ways to get bookings from people who already know and trust you. Strategy number 5 is to build and use an email list of your past guests. Think about it. Every single guest who has stayed at your property is a warm lead for a repeat booking. They already know the place, they already trust you as a host, and they've already left you a review. Hopefully a good one. During slow months, these past guests are the absolute lowest hanging fruit for filling your calendar. But most hosts have no way to reach them because they never collect their contact information. So here's how to fix that. Start collecting guest email addresses, and the easiest way to do that is with this tool like StayFi. StayFi hooks up to your existing Wi-Fi and replaces the password with a splash page. Instead of typing in a Wi-Fi password, guests enter their email address to connect. It's the exact same strategy that hotels, airports, and coffee shops use, and it works. You build your email list automatically just from your guests connecting to Wi-Fi. Once you've got a list, send a monthly or seasonal email with a personal touch. Highlight upcoming local events, seasonal attractions, or a simple "we'd love to have you back" message with a small returning guest discount. Keep it short, keep it visual, and focus on one single call to action, which is to book a stay. Here's why this matters so much. A past guest who rebooks is dramatically more profitable than a brand new guest from Airbnb. If they book direct, there's no platform commission. There's no acquisition cost. The risk of damage or complaints is lower because they already know the space, and they're much more likely to leave another 5-star review as well. This one strategy compounds over time as your email list grows bigger and bigger. Which brings me directly to strategy number 6, which is to set up a direct booking website for your repeat guests. This is the natural next step once you've started building that email list. Think about what happens right now when a past guest wants to come back. They go to Airbnb, they search for your listing, and they book through the platform. Airbnb takes roughly 15% from you in service fees, meaning that your guest pays more while you keep less. Now imagine instead that you send that same past guest to your direct booking website. No platform fees for you, which means you can offer the guest a better rate and still make more money per booking than you would through Airbnb. During slow months, even a handful of direct bookings from past guests can make a real difference to your bottom line. Setting this up is easier than most people think. Bestie has an AI-powered website builder that'll create your entire site in just a few minutes. It's completely free, and I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. Once it's live, link guests to your direct booking site instead of your Airbnb listing when you email your past guests. Offer a small incentive, even 5 to 10% off if they book direct. That way the guest saves money, you make more money, and everybody wins. Again, the link is in the description if you want to set that up for yourself in literally the next few minutes. All right, now here's where things get really powerful. This next strategy is one that most hosts either don't know about or have tried to do manually and given up on because it's just too much work. Strategy number 7 is to upsell gap night extensions. Here's the situation. You've got a guest checking out on a Wednesday and another guest checking in on a Friday. Thursday night just sits there empty. It's too short for most travelers to find and book on their own, but it still costs you money. The property sits vacant and it breaks up what could have been a longer continuous booking. Now, the old school way to handle this was to manually go through your calendar, find the gaps, and then personally message your upcoming guests to ask if they'd like to check in a day early or check out a day late to fill that hole. And that approach works really well when you actually do it. The problem is that almost nobody actually does it consistently because it's tedious and really time consuming. The new way to handle this is to let AI do it automatically. There are tools now that can scan your calendar, identify every gap night, check your pricing, and proactively send personalized messages to your guests on either side of the gap, offering them the chance to extend their stay at a discounted rate. The guest gets a great deal on an extra night, you fill a night that was gonna earn absolutely zero, and it happens without you ever lifting a finger. One tool that does this really well is Bestie AI. Their upselling engine identifies opportunities and sends out the offers, but it doesn't stop there. Bestie also collects the payment, updates the reservation, and can even notify your cleaners if you want. You can even set custom discount rules. So for example, you could have it offer 20% off for any standard nightly rate for any gap night extensions. And the numbers don't lie. Bestie's gap night automation generates an average of 1.2 extra nights booked per month per listing. Let me put that into context. If your average nightly rate is $150 and you pick up just one extra night per month over a 6-month slow season, that's $900 in revenue that would have been zero. And that's from a system that takes about 15 minutes to set up one time and then runs on its own from that point forward. Gap night filling is one of those strategies where the return on investment is obvious once you see it in action, but the friction of doing it manually means almost nobody actually follows through. Automation removes that friction entirely. If you want to see how this would work on your own listings, Bestie AI can set up the gap night automation, the guest upselling, and a whole lot more. There's a link in the description to book a quick call with the team, and they'll walk you through exactly what it would look like for your specific portfolio. These 7 strategies are guaranteed to land you more bookings during slow season and put thousands more dollars back in your pocket every single year. If you want help setting any of this up, especially the gap night automation, the upselling, and the direct booking system, Bestie AI can handle all of it for you. They've got autopilot messaging that takes care of guest communication around the clock, an upselling engine that fills gap nights automatically, and a direct booking tool that helps you build a booking channel you actually own. Click the link in the description to book a quick call with the Bestie team. They'll look at your specific setup and show you exactly how it would work for your specific listings. Now, remember what I said at the beginning. If you're already doing all 7 of these strategies, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment with the word booked and I'll hook you up with one property free for life on Bestie AI. No strings attached. And if you're not doing all 7 yet, drop a comment and let me know which ones you're going to tackle first. If you've got a slow season strategy that I didn't cover, I want to hear about that too. And if you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button because I'm going to be putting out a lot more content like this on how to use AI and smart systems to run a better short-term rental business. I'll see you in the next one.